time.
You can.
And, that's just something that I like to tell people, because so many people, they like to hide their light. And I'm like, why? Don't
I used to be
hide
one
it.
of those people, but once you step into your life, it's kind of hard to step out because people start to acknowledge it. They're like, "Oh, why you not doing this? Why you not doing that?" And eventually, you're like, "Okay, let me see what everybody else is talking about." If they seeing so much light in me, so and maybe a lot of people that aren't listening find feels like the true, authentic self that they are. They feel like it may not be accepted because this is entrepreneurship is now starting to be more acceptable, but back in our parents' time, it wasn't really acceptable. You had to go get a job, and that's how we grew up. Go get a job. Now
Yep.
entrepreneurship is like our kids had opportunity if they want to, not even have their a job, 9 to 5 per se, but be CEOs of their own job because of the footsteps and seeds that we're planting. So times are changing, right? And like you said, like
Yes,
giving it
yes,
back, man.
yes.
That's a good thing. I
Times
really
are
feel like that.
changing.
It is.
And I will tell you this, even though people say we're in a recession, you know what? Billionaires and millionaires are made in a
Whoop,
recession.
whoop. Hey,
And
let's get
so I
it.
just want to definitely encourage anybody, any entrepreneur out there, you not you can, you will be a millionaire. You will be a billionaire. You know why? And the number one reason why so many people want to become a millionaire and a billionaire and they succeed is because they have a servant's heart. And so if you have a servant's heart, you will go far.
You will. And with that service heart, you created with the Zeledon LLC. And what was the mission behind it? Like I know you have so many things in your life that empower you to do so many great things into the community, but why was it so important for you to create the Zeledon LLC? What was the reason behind it?
Tax purposes.
That's it.
I'm just saying. I mean, I like to keep it real. I'm a very honest person. I like to say I'm an open book because I'm an author. I like to use that reference. I
Yeah.
literally am an open book. Tax purposes, man. That you got to have a little bit of protection. I attended Damian Johnson's free class that he literally came to Arkansas and he literally showed us how to his like plan, basically, or like it's like a free kind of courses that you can take with him. I didn't attend the courses, but I definitely learned a lot. So
Yeah.
thank you, Damian Johnson,
Shout
because
out to
because
Damien
of you, I
Johnson.
have an LLC.
Hey, she said tax purposes. Just let me go ahead and tell you, no other reason but tax purposes. That's it. There's nothing wrong with that though. You're like, I have a solid business and it's booming because of tax purposes.
Well, tax purposes, if you know how to do your taxes, I am a QuickBooks certified, accountant. And so, I know how to do taxes. I don't do
Trade.
it for everybody. That's my sister. My sister does taxes. I do not. I just learned the skill because like every entrepreneur, you like to learn skills so you don't have to pay someone else. I
Yeah.
learned it for myself and I don't do it for other people. Um, because it's a long process. I prefer to write. I prefer to inspire. I prefer to. That's just not my cup of tea. But if it's your cup of tea, awesome.
Hey, somebody out there gotta do it. But that's dope. That's dope. And like you said, you're also a mother, and you said it was 8 year old.
So I am one of six. My siblings, I'm one of six. My son, he is 9 years old. I only have one.
Okay.
And if you ask us why we only have one, that is a question you need to ask my husband because literally that's the only way that I can have more.
I don't know.
so so yeah, you can ask him, but we both just kind of decided to keep it at one. There's so many kids out there. I would love to be like a foster kind of, because there's, to me, in my opinion, why bring another, baby in the world when there's so many out there already suffering.
That's so
And
true.
so whenever he told me that he only wanted one, I was like, maybe we are, aligned.
Yeah,
And
maybe
so
it's
and so I'm just so I mean, whenever so you were telling me to tell you a little bit about my history. So me and my husband's kind of journey was a very difficult and weird one. First of all, he is an immigrant as well, and he recently became a resident. Yeah,
Hey.
he's not a citizen yet because he hasn't took the test, and you have to wait 3 years.
Mm.
But it's already been 3 years. He's just being lazy and doesn't want to take the test. But he already knows the answers. I already answered. I am a big teacher. Like, I have a teacher's heart. I really do. I talked about a servant's heart. Teacher's heart are servant's heart.
Right.
But I love teaching. I love whenever, I still remember when I was a kid, they asked me, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? I always said teacher. My mom, she discouraged me from that because she's like, teachers don't make a lot of money. And so, and so I was like, you know what, Mom, I'm going to be a teacher one day. I'm just going to be a different type of teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have virtual classes that I help people obtain, certifications and things like that. It's either a referral service or they can learn from me.
And so, with all that on your plate, being able to be a service to others, be a great mother, be an entrepreneur, what is the biggest thing you would say as a mother, as a wife, that you face on you and your husband face with having only one child? If you have any biggest challenges.
So the hardest thing for us was agreeing on getting help for him. In the Hispanic culture, it is frowned upon, and even in other cultures as well, is to ask for help.
That's true.
And
That's true.
he would always tell me, oh, he's fine, he's fine, he's fine. And in my head, I was like, no, he's gonna struggle in kindergarten when he has to do group projects, when he has to be in a social environment. But for him, my husband, he was just like, he's not from United States, he's from Honduras. So shout out to all my hondureños. Hola, ¿cómo están? Me
Hey.
encantan sus baleadas.
Hey.
Anyways, and so baleadas is an actual dish. It's like a very popular dish.
It's really
so
good.
It's delicious. It's got beans on it. It's got egg on it. It's got a tortilla on the bottom. It is delicious. But if you're in Colombia, arepas. So there's a little bit of free Spanish lingo foods.
This is in New Mexico, so the dish I'm very familiar with that dish. I like Hispanic dish. I like all type of culture dish. Like, I'm the type of person, you go, hey, let's eat some Mediterranean food. You'd be like, oh, Char's not gonna eat it. Who? I'm gonna be the one to eat it. I'm not gonna eat the beans. Mediterranean beans, I can't eat those. But if you say anything about Hispanic culture dish or Japanese dish or Jamaican dish, I'm eating them all. I love all culture dish. Love it.
One of my favorite types of beans was the beans that I tasted from South Africa. I went to Arkansas Tech University, and we would have the Festival of Lights, and every year they would like set up booths of different cultures to try their foods. And South Africa, man, they are on point with those beans.
Hey, shout out to them. I'm gonna have to try me some. I went to down in Bahrain and ate some, like I said, Mediterranean food. But when it comes to this South African or African dish, haven't got there yet. I'm making my rounds one day. One day I get there, I'll tour the world eating everybody's food. That's what
tomorrow, let's go.
Yeah, we're gonna go tomorrow. We're gonna take a flight tomorrow. We're gonna go eat those beans. I can see it already. So like,
I got my second COVID shot today. So literally,
let's
I
go.
can go anywhere now.
Let's go. You said we're gonna get it. So I'm pointing on you.
Anybody that's anti-vaccine out there, I'm sorry, but I'm not.
Did it hurt? Did you actually go through any of those symptoms that they said
no.
that you possibly face?
No. I will tell you this though. The only side effect that I had was that my arm was kind of sore, and that's it. Mm-hmm. But then in reality, I can't even remember the last time I had a shot. So, to me, if you can take the vaccine and you're open to a smallpox vaccine and you're open to, other type of illnesses that are really just difficult for your body to survive. I mean, to me, it's just a vaccine, but to other people, I really wonder, about AIDS and, all of those illnesses and all of those smallpox and all of those airborne illnesses. I wonder if they had such a hard time getting these people vaccine like they do now. But
That's a good question. And I wonder, like, with the vaccines of others that has like low immune systems and the elderly, what are some key words that you can encourage them? You know, if they're looking like maybe I don't want to take this shot because it could affect me as an elderly person or a person that doesn't have an immune system. Is there any way you can you tell them that like it's
so I'm
right
going to tell
words?
you, I am a health coach as well. And so if you if you take magnesium tablets or gummy bears or something like that, magnesium is really good for your bones, really good for your nervous system. My sister is a respiratory therapist, so she is like the doctor, quote unquote, in the family. And
Mm.
so I am not a medical professional at all. So I'm not trying to give you any kind of medical advice. The only thing that I know is what has worked for me and so many other humans. Um, uh, but yeah, I'm a health coach just because I love all things health and wealth. And so I eat foods that, I order because it's literally food. It's not a supplement. And so that's the main thing that I had an issue in the past with. I didn't want no supplement and then have to buy food. No, no
Yeah,
thanks.
right. I gotta drink this and eat this, put it all
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. I'm a coach. And so I always encourage all of my clients to definitely find out vitamins, find out what works for your body, and so magnesium is something that every person can benefit from. Another thing, if you're having, those types of COVID symptoms, drink some ginger or white tea. Ginger, I know, is pretty strong, but white tea is very similar, and both teas can help you when it comes to those types of respiratory kind of problems. Another thing that is helpful for your respiratory is oregano. And so, even though oregano
Mm.
is very, very bitter, if you like literally in my water, I put like maybe three drops of oregano because it's good for your lungs. And so oregano, put a couple of drops of oregano in your water or in your juice or whatever, and just drink it, and it's going to help your lungs. Your lungs will thank you.
Hey, I'm gonna have to go try that. That's some gems for you. Because my mother, she's an elder. So as far as her, well, she took the shot. I know my brother took the shot more for the military. I don't have an immune system. So
Hey,
hey,
military fam.
military, yeah.
So my nephew just became a Marine. I'm so proud of
Hey, shout
him.
out to him. He's a special one. I'll tell you that one because I wasn't that special. I was not that person to go to the Marines. Like I had opportunities, and every time the opportunity came, I closed the door. I was like, nope, no Marines. So shout out to him because I know in the Army what our standards are. So in the Marine standards are like up, right? Just like a little standard, but they do an extra mile, they gotta do an extra run. I'm like, extra no. That was me. Like how
Yeah, my brother, he's a Marine as well. He's in California. He's also a pastor, and
Thank
so
you.
he's a pastor Marine, and who knows what else. I'm not really sure. I talk to him once in a while, but
Shout
he
out
stays
to them.
busy.
Hey, that life is definitely not an easy life. Being in the military, period. And I know Marines, whether you're Marine, Army, Coast Guard, Air Force, being away from your family is not easy. So shout out to them.
Navy,
Hey,
yeah,
you're risking your life for this country because a lot of people don't know what you have to sacrifice on top of your life. Like you have to do regular job on top of being superhero for this country. And has some.
National Guard,
Mhm.
yeah.
And sometimes we don't even know.
Thank you to everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you to everybody. You know, I pat myself on the back. Well, I'm out of that now. But
Thank you for your service. You're a veteran.
it was not by choice, but God always have he always have a different say so. So maybe I've been inspiring people in the military anymore, but definitely out here in entrepreneurship, we're trying to give that same value back. So it means a lot. It means a lot to me just to be here speaking with you today. And now we know that we're a military family. We understand each other on a whole different level, right? And all you listeners out there that are military or have a brother, sister, or a husband that's in the military, I want you to know that it's not easy. And it's not easy living that life. So if you are living that life on top of living a regular life, you are doing a good job. and you shouldn't stop. All right, just because it may be difficult sometimes, just keep going. You can say be positive and have hope. There you go. Right, bring positive and have hope, because positivity starts